Hello, welcome to Mike Lee's Life Hacks. Yesterday I did a plasti dip on the top roof. You can see how it came out. It is a little streaky and it looks like I got a little bit too close right here. You're supposed to maintain at least 6 to 8 inch, but I think ideal would be almost a foot. I was encountering a little bit of wind last night, so I had to go a little bit closer. But not too bad. Good thing about plasti dip is you can take it off if you don't like it. Today what I'm going to do is show you how to paint your calipers and just around the rotor to give it a nice clean look down there. This is a BMW E60. I'll show you the other side, what I did on that. I've already finished it. Okay, boom. Nice fire engine red. Looks really clean inside, especially with these rims, because you can see the calipers a lot. So that's what the other side's going to look like if you ever want to get that racing red look on your calipers. This is how you do it. It's pretty simple. All you're going to need is some degreaser. I'm using the Fast 504, but pretty much any degreaser will do. I'm using a duplicolor. It's an engine enamel because your calipers will get hot. And then I just have some lacquer thinner. And then I have some paint just to go around the drums, because the drums are real crusty looking. Just give that a fresh look. First thing is you got to jack it up. Make sure on the BMWs you find the spot underneath. It's right here. This thing right here connects into that like this. The way the BMWs work is you actually stand the jack flush so that bottom part is flush with the ground, and then you start jacking. All right, I have one hand on the camera, so I'm going to turn it off real quick. All right, so you can see I got the jack in. It slips right into that slot there. The jack is at an angle, nothing holding it up like kind of like a traditional jack where you think, what the heck? And then you just start cranking. Remember to unloosen the lug nuts before you get the tire off the ground, because you won't have enough compression. So crank this baby up until the wheels are just slightly off the ground. You don't need to get crazy and get that thing way up in the air. If you can't spin the tire, it's probably not high enough. Okay, it's getting loose, you can feel it. So, there we go. I got it high enough. Remember, I've already unloosened the lug nuts. All I have to do is just take them out now. You can just keep turning all the way until they actually pop out like that. Make sure to keep them off to the side. The emblems in the middle just pop off. Very easy. Just stick a screwdriver in there. Crap. If you have an older car, those could be brittle. I had to buy new ones on eBay. Don't buy the cheap ones. Make sure you buy the ones that have the 8 prongs that stick into there like that. I'm going to take this tire off and I'll get back with you. Okay, got the tire off. You can see how rusted this stuff is. This looks nasty. You can see it from the outside. What I'm going to be doing, I'm going to spray the degreaser on this whole caliper here. I want to get all that grime and dirt off. I'll spray it on the rotor as well. Don't worry about if you get it onto the rotor. I'm just trying to spray it on this drum part right here because there's rust. I'm going to be wiping it down thoroughly to make sure that it comes off. You want to let that sit for a couple minutes. You'll see the nasty stuff starting to drip. In the meantime, if you haven't done so, take the time to clean your wheel thoroughly if you want to plasti dip them, or it's just a good opportunity to really get in there and clean them up nice. I was thinking about plasti dipping these rims, but since I'm not really happy with the top, I'm gonna hold off on these because I think with the red caliper, with the red calipers, it's gonna look nice anyway. So I'm gonna let this sit. I'm gonna wash it off real quick, and then I'll scrub it down, and I'll come back on when it's time to get this sucker painted. Okay, just got done scrubbing it, degreasing it. I'd use a degreaser first, scrub it down really good. If you have a metal brush, that'd work. Come back with a rag. And then I'm using the lacquer thinner as the final step. That way the alcohol burns off real quick and it really digs down. It still looks grimy, but on the other side, the paint adhered really well because I scrubbed it down. Now this is a two-step process. I went ahead and taped off around the rotor because when I go to paint this drum here, I'm going to use a paper that I've cut out kind of in a quarter of a circle shape. I'll use that to get all the stuff around it like that, and I'll show you that in a minute. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a light coat of this fire engine red. Remember, the prep, your paint job's only going to be as good as the prep, so make sure you take your time, scrub it down really good, make sure it's nice and dry, get in all those little cracks. The one thing that I need to do now is there's a little hole right here. I don't want any paint getting in there, so what you have to do is just break yourself off a piece of paper. Okay, and then stick it in that hole. That's pretty much the only thing that I had to really cover. Okay, twist it up, that way it's easy to get out, and I can still spray paint around that. Okay, so I'll take the lid off here. Sorry about the camera. Alright, shake her up really good. I'm just going to get a light dust on this baby. Okay, look how far away I am. I'm a good 8 inches to a foot. I'm not trying to coat it completely on the first swipe, so settle down, give yourself some time. Even though you're not going to see underneath, you want to try to do underneath. Okay, you can see I didn't cover this part completely right here, so I got a little bit of red on that. I'll probably just wipe that off. And just inside of there, bam. Okay, you can still see a lot of the underneath rotor, but what I'm going to do is just let this sit really good. I'm going to do 3 coats on this bad boy. By the time it's done, it's going to look just like the other side. So I'm going to wait for that to dry. While I'm waiting for that to dry, take a look at the other side really good. It's got a nice shine on it. Okay, it looks really good from far away. I'm going to go ahead and do all 4. I'm starting with the front 2, and then I'll work my way to the back. That way it'll look like I got brand new calipers. Alright, so after I do the 3 coats and then I spray around the drum, I'll go ahead and film then. Okay, I just gave my calipers the 3rd coat. Super shiny. I just took off the cover for the drum. I'm just waiting a little bit longer for the caliper to dry, then I'll put some plastic over that, drape that over, and then I'll use my cutout here to cover the gaps of where the tape doesn't cover. So, and then I'll show you I'll have to, in order to paint this part of the drum over here, I'll have to spin it, take some of the tape off, and then redo it but it's pretty simple. Taking the whole tire off, getting it prepped. I'd say I could probably get that done, complete process, maybe 45 minutes per tire. If you had 2 jacks, you could jack up the side of your car, do both at the same time. I only have the one here, so I'm only able to do 1 tire at a time. But anyway, after I paint the, after I start painting, after this dries, I'll show you how I paint the drum. Alright, just so you can see what I'm doing, I did the first coat here. I took off all the tape down here. I spun the whole rotor. And now you can see the part here that's unfinished. All this stuff here, I'm going to do that. So I just got finished taping the top. Now you can see up here, I have some red overspray from where it was behind the caliper. Don't worry, if you have that alcohol or any kind of acetone, with a little bit of scrub, it just comes right off. So the last step I'll have before I put the tire back on, I'll go around the whole rotor just to make sure that there is no overspray. It's nice and clean. Okay, I finished doing the top part here. And there you have it. Just finished wiping off everything. You can see the drum is nice, and I painted a matte black. I don't want it real shiny. I got a fire engine red. Just cleaned that. About ready to throw the wheel back on, and I'm already done with the front. This is a really simple job if you really want that clean look. Once again, thanks for watching my video, and make sure you subscribe. I'm always coming up with different stuff. Peace out. God bless America.